Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Kingdom where art meets conversation. Today, we're privileged to have Everett Samuel Glenn, better known as E.S. Glenn, a remarkable cartoonist, painter, and performer whose journey through life and art is as vivid as his canvases. Everett's the cartoonist behind New Tricks here on Comics Kingdom, one of our latest and greatest. And Glenn's work, deeply personal and unflinchingly authentic, explores complex themes of identity, class, and human resilience. Join us today. We're going to dive into his story, his strip, fatherhood, and everything that comes along with it. And
I'm glad to be here, Alex. Hi.
of course, of course. Thank you, Everett. You know, this is long overdue. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I look forward to all our conversations, honestly. We're just having a great laugh before we even started
Yeah,
this thing.
actually.
Um, but I think there's beauty in exploring all of these conversations in our cartoonists, and I think it's been again long overdue for us to actually dive into your story, your strip, and everything that surrounds that.
Yes, and I love talking to you too, man, because I do feel like we end up laughing. It always gets down to like the last second, but it's worth it. And now we got our little window here, man. So I'm glad to have this conversation with you because as always, I'm always waiting for this conversation. So let's let it go.
So Everett, now that again, right on that point I made before that we're going to talk about your road into how we did all of this. I think I want to jump straight into, I guess, early life, right?
Sure.
And let's give this our audiences maybe a glimpse of the path, which may be irregular to some. To me and to you and I think we can almost mesh minds here and understand, but some audiences don't. They've never heard this sort of story. So
Actually, I learned that the hard way because I'm out here in Germany, and you know, let's say I'm at the end of that story right now, and the end of that story, I'm doing Gucci scarves. I'm in a museum.
congrats.
Thanks, bro. I'm rubbing shoulders with people who really it took me a long time to even understand that they don't get it. They don't. So yeah, I'm from straight up Cleveland. I'm from straight up 97th and Cedar. Um, and I'm from the kind of town where those numbers make sense, like 97th and Cedar. That's like a region. That's like that's like the region where I'm from Cleveland, and it was rough. My grandfather was a gangster, a real one. And then he had sons, and then half became standing citizens, and the other half continued the gangster lineage. And those were my fathers. One was an actual detective up on the streets of Cleveland, and the other one was a guy who was in and out of jail who taught me how to rap and also taught me how to fight. And he taught me how to be tough by like kicking me in the face and stuff like this. And like, hey, people on the street's gonna do this, man. And I say, oh no, they won't. He say, watch. You know what I mean? And I'm from the kind of place where that read as love to me in the moment. Thank you, because damn, man, I don't want no stranger doing that. So I really, had the actual like kind of tough upbringing, but somehow I just ended up in the library, long story short, and start picking up Robert Crumb comics, and these comics I start seeing like, oh man, these people, Robert Crumb's from Cleveland, what is this other side? What is this the same city? Like what? You were thinking about collecting records? What is that like? So I just started exploring what is out of the hood. I just started stepping out of the hood every now and then. And sometimes it worked out in my favor and sometimes it didn't. And I would meet people, but I was still a hood dude. So, find myself in jail. And, you know, my mom was sick and all this stuff. And I'm a teenager and I'm figuring out my identity. And that identity is so vastly different than the people around me that it was extremely isolating. And that's not even considering like what was going on in our house. You know what I mean? Like you're in the hood. This is you're in the capitalist system. Once you're below a certain level, you're a pauper. You're or a peasant. You're at the mercy of whatever the law of the land is. So I was there while at the same time venturing out, open minded, just meeting people, talking to people, and doing art. Like I had a friend, Silvio, is a Mexican exchange student, introduced me to music. I'm like, oh, what's this? Oh, what the? Oh, what? You know what I mean? This don't sound like Project Pat. What? Oh, dang. Oh, so I just started opening my for no reason, no political reason, no social reason, just like, oh, what is that? Like, and it's from just literally the library was my hang. Like I would just go there to hang, like to chill. And then I just saw like the complete Robert Crumb books. Shouldn't have been reading them at the time, but I just thought, wow, this is so cool. And I'm a little boy, so this is extra cool to me.
I can
Robert
see that.
Crumb, yeah, teenage boy and Robert Crumb is like that's a match to the dynamite. So I basically just started opening my mind a little bit, and yeah, I just started drawing comics
Well,
as
all the
as
better.
a way of just personal, like a personal. I didn't even draw them for anything. Excuse me. Yeah,
No, we're all the better for it.
yeah,
Excuse me. Um, During that time, you also attended the Cleveland School of Arts. Am I correct?
yes,
Yeah, and so that obviously is a crucial part in your artistic journey. Can you talk
yeah,
about how that shaped some of your development and as an artist?
yes. I basically I was in jail, kid jail, and I knew, oh man, this ain't the place for me because my roommate was really scary, and I just basically I wouldn't even sleep. I couldn't sleep, so I would just pretty much I would lean out my. It's not a cell because it's kid jail, so it's kind of like a door, and then you got a basically a social worker sitting at the edge instead of a prison guard. And I would just lean out, and it was the night shift guy, Mr. Edwards. I know his name. He's an alpha, like one of these fraternity guys. Cool dude. And I would just lean out my door and talk to Mr. Edwards every night about stuff until the sun came up. And then I was like, yo, Mr. Edwards, man, look, let me level with you. Jail school is dumb. I mean, they're not trying, their goal isn't for me to be smarter. Their goal is to occupy a section of time before lunch. And this is really killing me. And I just want you to know that before I got in here, there was this school that I heard was all for arts, and I was drawing comics, and I think I want to go there. So I have to decide if I'm going to admit to a crime or not right now. I ain't going to say he
I
said
think you
no,
passed
and
the
then I ran
statute
away.
of limitations. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
okay. I think you're all right.
Like, how many years? Like, yeah. Let's just say, like, he was cool with it, but legally, I was in jail.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like the only way I'm gonna leave this building is by leaving this building on my own. So I left the building and then applied to the school. And I was like, look, man, I'm coming right back. Don't call the cops, man. I'm coming right back. Like, I have nowhere else to go. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so I went, I applied, and then waited. I was like, hey, man, I gotta leave again. I gotta find out if I leave again. Come back. Hey, I got it, man. Look, we gotta work something out. I can't do this. This is a nice school in Everett. All right, look, you can go to the halfway house. So I'm now able to go to the school. And there is the first time like the cool kids are the theater kids. These are the cool kids of the school. Like, oh, we're singing in the hallway. Photography class. And then I had this teacher, Mr. Hamlet, who was like old school, like thespian type dude, like first afro mullet I ever seen in my life. Just a mullet, but an afro.
I don't want to see that. Can you draw that, please, at some
One
point?
day I will.
I
I
gotta
have
see it.
to.
I gotta see it.
Just
I gotta see
it's like a Steve-ish, Harvey-ish. Like, and he's like he was just I mean, and now that I'm older, I know he was just a very kind old dude who loved painting horses and he's a teacher. But at the time, I never seen that kind of man before. And he really he didn't take me under his wing, but being around these kids who weren't going home to what I was going home to, and then seeing him as a grown up and not, I love my uncle who's a detective, but like he be coming home telling stories, and I'm like, man, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to know that. And
Yeah.
here's somebody who's like, this the butt of the horse is my main priority. Like
That's a very different, life experience.
yes, it's like, and then I thought this is why I left in the first place. That like Crumb's other Cleveland, Mr. Hamlet's other priorities, and I'm like, oh man, this is dope. So then I just started. To me, it just was like, if I this is awesome. So I just started doing a lot of stuff there, and I sold stuff to the Cleveland Clinic. Um, I just thought, man, I just love it. I love doing this stuff, and I love, and then when you don't when you don't know something, you don't know the limitations of it. So like to me, I just went full ham. I would go to school. I literally, if I got some money from doing whatever, and I got school money to buy new clothes, I'm like, yes, the new Rockaware just came out, or at this time, I guess Fubu, I think, or Fat Farm. New Fat Farm just came out, or go to the costume shop. You can there's medieval whole, and this ain't a coincidence. I swear to God. I swear to God. I have receipts somewhere on the internet. Whole medieval night outfits. What do you think I'm about to buy? I would go to school like for every day. I'm like, all right, I need 5 outfits. It's 5 days a week. I got sombrero,
Yeah.
like Clint Eastwood on Monday. Then Tuesday, I'm about to come as a zombie and shit. Like every day, like actual Halloween every day for real. Cause I just that was a place I felt like all this pent up stuff. I just did it.
Did wearing any of that grant you any nicknames at school or anything like that, or?
No, it granted me some ass whoopings because that shit granted me some lumps. No, that did not work out in my favor at all. I wish I could tell that story. No, like, oh nah. They were like, what are you doing? Because they wanted to be cool. So like
Yeah,
Cleveland
yeah,
School of the Arts was right next to John Hay. And that's where my uncles and stuff cut their teeth. My mom went there. Or no, my uncles went there, my mom went to another school.
got it.
So and these schools are in the hood. And I'm the one from the hood, but everybody else going to the hood to go to the
Yeah,
Cleveland School of Arts. So the
yeah.
John Hay dudes are kind of like bullying everybody from Cleveland School of the Arts. And they're like, how is the sombrero Batman dressing dude not also getting jumped every day? And I'm like, guys, that's my neighbor. I can't. I'm in a political stalemate right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they started mollywopping me. So I'm yeah. So basically, I started like, then the Matrix came out. So I'm experimenting with outfits. They already don't like me. And then I was like, oh man, trench coat, army pants. Yeah, this is a good idea for the early 2000s to be going to school in this outfit.
Yeah, I can already see it. I can already see it. I can already
You ain't
see
about
it.
to shoot us up. You ain't about to shoot us up. Pop, pop, pop. At the same time, I'm like, oh, my mind is free. Let me get into like Tai Chi and stuff. I got Tai Chi books. And I'm wearing a black trench coat, army pants, with Tai Chi books in my book bag. Like all they see is like a witch. Like
You're just very unique. Very
yes,
unique.
let's say
Very
that.
unique. Very unique.
Man, I'm a star because I can go forever. But like, man, one time they dumped out my book bag, like classic bully move. Dumped the book bag out in the gym. I don't know why. I don't even remember why I had this stuff, but I just had vials, just like various vials and bottles and stuff. And all I saw was my life just flash before my eyes as these vials rolled out because
Yeah.
I thought they gonna tear me to pieces. And they did. But by the time, let's say I had two halves, the time where I was just explosion, doing whatever. And then the time I like tampered my like, okay, calm down. You're at School of the Arts, but these are people who are so scared of things. It's not School of the Performance Arts.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
exist yet. You know what I mean? So like, calm down, son. Yeah, but by the time I was at this like middle stage, I was already, before I even went there, I was running from people trying to stab me and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, it became a game. Like, all right, y'all gonna be mad, and I'm gonna dip. If you catch me, you catch me. If you don't, you don't. So I'm just
Everett, I gotta tell you that this is fascinating. Like, I kind of want to sit here and just like go through all that story, but
yeah.
in service of time, I'm
Yes,
coming back to
man.
this with you, man. Because
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
offline we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah. Because man, it's just ham. That's why.
No, it's
Yeah,
good. So it's good stuff. But you leave the School of Arts and you go to the Navy, right?
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes ish. But so
yeah,
you're
yes,
with
yes, yeah.
yes ish
Like
and Navy.
Germany, nine, like yeah, nine. It's like it's a mix. Yeah.
How, I guess, how did your service or your time in service, did it give you any structure, any discipline,
Yeah,
or
it
did
was
it influence
beautiful.
your art in any way?
I loved it. Honestly, I would recommend every single person do at least basic. I think it basically, it was the most intense moment of my life. I felt the best I've ever felt in my life. Yeah, like physically the best I ever felt because I was working out every day, and they put me in this unit called the 900 unit
Okay.
because my dumbass really thought I'm gonna be in the Navy to wear Hawaiian shirts and be that guy on the sub. You know what I mean? I really thought that. I really thought there's always this one guy in these movies where he's got a Hawaiian shirt on, and he come out with the, hey guys, let's loosen up, you know. Like else got the army outfit on, the Hawaiian shirt, dude. I was like, I'm about to do that. Like, I'm about to see the world. The whole recruiting thing worked, and it's a good thing. You can see the world if you're from the hood. Honestly,
Get in the Navy, right?
do it, man. I ain't gonna lie, do it. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm about to see the world. I'm about to get paid, blah blah. But I'm gonna be that guy with the Hawaiian shirt, and they're gonna let me do that because that's how it is in the army, right? And the Navy, right? So I'm in there. I go, and they put me in this 900 unit, which I didn't realize was for the weirdos. It's like they,
The uniques, the
yeah,
uniques,
you're the unique.
the uniques, the uniques.
I'm like everybody lining up. It's like one house over here. They call it a ship. It's like one up here on a hill, and then there's a whole bunch over here, and everybody's splitting up. Why are we going up there? Okay, I got rejected from the Navy. That's what I'm thinking. I got rejected. Okay, fair enough. They asked me with a paperclip in hand, why did you join the Navy? And I said, for the girls. The guy just calmly said, go over there. I swear to God, I'm not lying. I swear to God. And I went up the hill, and then I'm looking like, where's everybody else? Like, it's just me. It's like 100 people on the bus, and like now it's 25 of us, and everybody looking a little like, everybody got this like thing about them. Like, there's something
Yep,
about everybody.
yep.
Everybody looked like a cartoon character type of, even the facial structure. Like, everybody looked like a cartoon character for real. And we all lined up. Hey, what's up? What's your name? And we start hooking up, and then we start getting to basic. And our trainer is just ruthless, ruthless. And basically, long story short, it was intense, but also by the end, they took me into the room they called the smoke box, where they would just yell at you like ah blah blah blah, and they were doing the gestures of yelling at me like this. And it was like, listen up, Everett. You're a really nice guy, but you're really messing this up for everybody else because you keep telling jokes and stuff. And this is very serious. So as soon as you're done with this, you better get the fuck out of here because you're not made for the Navy. Now, you don't need to do anything else. You can just draw flags for people and make tattoos. As a matter of fact, my daughter is 5. This is her picture. Pick it up after I kick you out the room. Could you draw this, please? Now get the fuck out of here and act like you said. I swear to God. I swear to God.
So did any of that? Well, one, did you draw the flag?
Yes,
And
I
did any of
confirm.
that? Because I guess right after the Navy, or when you leave the Navy, you go to Brooklyn, correct?
Yes. So I start drawing the flags, and then I get into tattoo art, like classic tattoos.
Okay.
And then, like, basically, I was able to get out because I just wasn't cut out for the Navy. Like, I just literally wasn't actually. And then they were like, nah, and plus you got mental problems. You're too nervous. Basically, you're too nervous, man.
Yeah,
You really think you gonna wear a Hawaiian shirt? It's 9/11, son. Like, what are you doing?
yeah.
Get out. So it was cool. We all split up. So then, but in the meantime, I was learning about Sailor Jerry because I was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for like 6 months. I had to go to the psychiatric ward for 6 months, and I was in there just reading about tattoos, drawing tattoos for the psycho ward people, drawing tattoos for my fellow inmates, drawing tattoos. Oh man, this Sailor Jerry stuff. I went to New York, chilling. My friends were like, "Oh, we're on our way. We all gonna live in this house together." I'm like, "Oh man, let me help you pack." I'm like, we going to New York, man. So I rode down there with them. They all was like what 7, 8 dudes in one house. I was like, look, man, there's enough room over this closet for me to put a mattress. Let's do it, man. I live with y'all now, and I just spent my time in DeKalb or something like that. I don't know where I was. I was somewhere.
DeKalb Avenue in Brooklyn is over there. But during this time, this is when you joined the underground like New York art
Yeah.
scene, right?
Then I started like that's back when Manhattan Avenue, everything was fresh. All the stuff that we consider hipster now was actually the scene then. Like it wasn't it wasn't curated. No one. It was just Brooklyn. It was like sitting on the ground selling
It's just
records.
art.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I
Did you
started going out.
ever did you ever draw anything for World War III?
No, what's that?
Well, it's a graphic art series down there, like underground art, like zine in Brooklyn. They publish it, I think, quarterly, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I know the name, but I know a city paper. I'm trying to remember now because now that
So
rings a bell. Actually, that actually rings a
curveball
bell.
there. It was just
Yeah,
one of those things. But during this time, obviously, you're in Brooklyn. You're in the underground scene. You're kind of on the ground floor of like all the art scene and everything that's kind of
yeah.
coming out of there. Um, did this time teach you anything about the art world, or maybe even like your place in it?
Yes, I knew that I wasn't like no, actually it was a one time I seen more people. It was like more people like me who probably had checker pass and all this stuff. I saw more. Like actually when I went there, it was so many people dressed in so many crazy ways that I even like I called it the New York effect. I think this is a thing where you go there and you see people dressing crazy and then for like 2 weeks you dress crazy as fuck. I just remember having like 5 plaid shirts on and feeling like, yeah, here you free. You can just do whatever. And I learned a lot by doing. Like I was just painting stuff and everybody else was painting stuff. And it felt like a real kind of hate Ashbury. I did find myself sitting on the ground with a bunch of other people sitting on the ground. Just then I started like understanding how zines work. Like I said, I was talking to Ralph a little bit at the time. Then I ran over to Desert Island, this kind of like zine comic book store. And then Gabe was just now thinking, oh, I'm gonna keep this sign up, this old bread shop sign. I'm gonna keep this and make it a comic shop. So everything was super fresh. And I was like, oh man, I got these staple zines, and oh here, man, put that in the shop. So New York gave me that kind of like freedom to kind of like be an artist.
So we're gonna move into a few other things. I wanted to really touch on, I guess, your time in Germany. I know you're in Germany now, but from New York, you go to I'm gonna butcher the name, Leipzig,
Leipzig.
Leipzig. And this is where you become friends with Ralph Nice, correct?
Yes.
And
So in New
I guess,
York,
can you share a bit about that impact on
yes,
you?
yes. In New York, I was basically, you know, I was in New York. I was a young 20-year-old in New York. We can fast forward. I'm a young 20-year-old artist in New York. And then I'm working at the video store, and the video store owner, Kathy Smeliansky, who I love, chill lady, she's like, ah man, you can just draw. Like when the customer is not here, you can just draw here. And also you can draw the signs, blah, blah. So I'm just drawing stuff. And at the same time, I'm on this website called uh some art. It's an old school art website that I forgot the name of it, but I'm just putting stuff online. It's not Tumblr. It's like it was just for artists back in the day, and I was putting stuff on there all day. And then I saw this guy doing crazy stuff, and then I became a big fan of his stuff. And then I got this book called Pop Gun because I used to go down to St. Mark's pretty much every day religiously and just see what they had in stock, get some comics. And then I got this anthology called Pop Gun. I was like, is that the guy? Is this dude, Ralph Neese? He's published in the States? So then I fanned him up, like, oh, what's up? He was like, oh man, yeah, I heard you're doing pretty good stuff. Like you're they used to call me the David Cronenberg of comics because I was drawing wild stuff, like just wild, like just what am I feeling and thinking? Oh man, you're the David Cronenberg of comics. And he didn't know he made the same mistake some of my homies in Japan made. Hey, can I come over there? Oh, sure. Rap. You know it, Alex. Ain't no lie.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a rap. It's a rap. Save some paychecks. You know, me and my girlfriend, I had to talk to her about it. We talked, hopped on the plane, knocked on his door. Hello? Was? Oh, you sound different. Was? Okay.
How long? I guess at this stage, how long? Well, obviously you come to Germany,
Yeah.
and then he's already your close friend. He's surprised by you coming over.
But
How
he took
long
me
was
under his
that?
wing.
That period?
He said that was about, I think I was there. I must have been there for about, legally I could stay for 3 months, and I know I was a refugee for like 6 months. So I must have been
Wow.
there for
Okay.
half a year.
Okay.
Or a little more than half a year. But he took me right under his arms. He didn't close the door, nothing. He was like, all right, man, look, all right. You know, I wish I
Oh,
could
that's
imitate
beautiful.
Ralph, but like, all
That's
right.
beautiful.
And then, yeah. And it was the first, that was when I saw an artist or a cartoonist world. Like, at first it was all the blanket of art. But then I was like, this is a cartoonist. Like you can see his character designs all in his room, his studio. He had like moldings of his characters that he just did for himself. I'm like, you made toys for yourself? Like, just it was so dope. Like, it was the coolest shit I ever. So he's still to this day the coolest dude ever. Like, cause that was the first dude that was like unabashedly like a fan of comics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love, like, we would have conversations about, like, what's up with this new X-Men outfit, you know? And then he draw up some, and I draw up some, or like this kind of stuff, you know, where it's like, yeah, man, he should have the gauntlet, man. How Wolverine's claws gonna come out if the glove got the silver, you know what I mean? Like, and it would be dead ass. And it was like that. I felt real free with Ralph, and he was not nice to me at all. And that's what I needed because everybody else was always nice. I would draw stuff, Ralph would be like, no, that's good, man. That you gotta give more, like, and then he would just be like, he would have real constructive criticism that I never got, like real stuff that, like, technically speaking, would elevate the piece to be like, oh, I never knew. Why did I like Marvel stuff? Like, why did I like the good looking stuff? And then you find out it's just because you did the shading on the hair wrong. Ralph had long German locks. He showed me how to color an afro. Just the way he was showing me, like, no, the texture, it wouldn't be like this. Like the hair, you got to put this there. And I was like, oh, damn, man, all right.
Wow, that's
yeah.
And this is the first time you get some like real artistic process, I guess, put into everything.
Yes, because he went to this Leipzig school, and here that's like that. Yeah, like the Leipzig school illustration is like it's cream of the crop. And I didn't know at the time, but he was like the man over there. And so it was pretty much like I fell in his lap. And if you ask anybody who met Ralph, he was naturally a professor. Like, if God rest his soul, if he would have been if he would be here, he would probably be a professor because he couldn't not. He was one of these type of dudes. If you didn't draw something right, it would bother him personally.
He just had to. He had to tell you.
Yeah. He would just be like, "No, man, like this is not what it is." Like So like it was like
So
yeah.
no. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like I was like hanging out with the teacher. I didn't know that he was the like I was going around telling people, "Oh, Ralph was my mentor," and they like, "Ralph was my mentor. What are you talking about?"
Yeah. He has all his like kind of seeds kind of planted everywhere.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and you can spot them like they're around like, and all his like all the people who mess with Ralph, they do serious gigs now. Like everybody who was around that school, it was like Ralph, Anna Heif. We would all just be chilling. I didn't know I was in the art scene. Like in New York, I was just a New Yorker living and doing art on my own. I didn't know I was in a scene in Leipzig. Like in Leipzig, I was a part of something that I didn't know I was a part of. It was like the Leipzig School, they called it. And I was that American guy. Like I was that American guy. I would go to the cafe, draw all day because Ralph told me, like, you got to draw pages. You can't draw one thing. Okay, 30 pages a day. Let's do it. Like, and I would be there. Ain't had no job, cranking them out.
Just drawing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I got critiqued. I basically went to Leipzig school because they all went there. I couldn't go there because I didn't have the visa or the money or nothing. But I would hang out there. I would literally go to the campus where they at and to the shows and just be there. Talk to
American.
I even talked to their professor. I talked to Ralph professor.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, as you're drawing all these pages, obviously under Ralph's wing, I guess is this where was this the bridge to Unsmooth?
Yep. Direct. The direct
Wow.
link.
Okay.
Because that's when art turned to comics. That moment, like kicking it with Ralph was like pages are what makes comics. Like full strips, like not an idea, not a sketch. You gotta follow through. So like I might have an idea, and it took Ralph being like, okay, and I'd be like, yeah, wouldn't the punchline be funny if it was this? Well, yeah, it would be, but how am I going to see it if it's not drawn?
Right.
You know what I mean? Finish, draw the rest. But what? But don't this look good? Yeah, that look good. You got to draw 3 of those, or 4 of those, or 18 of those, and then each one got to move different. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
beautiful.
that's
That's
where it
that's
was
like
like,
that's
yeah,
amazing that you had that sort of experience to get you through those.
yeah,
Um,
son. It was really like that. It was really like I didn't mean to say something like that, son.
no.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay.
But like, yeah,
I'm okay.
Shit,
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
facts. All right. Like, yeah, it was like that's where it got real. Like, it got like because Ralph was published. He was in Pop Gun. Like, he did some gigs with Marvel. Anna Highfish is now a famous artist. You know, I see her. Everybody weirded out that I'm dapping her up. You know, that kind of stuff. Like, oh shit, what you doing all that shit? Everybody, oh, like, because it
Well,
was
I mean,
like
we're gonna
that.
talk. By the end of this, we'll talk about new tricks and how we got in touch.
Yeah,
But we'll
yeah.
talk about another cartoonist that I guess put us in ilk there, another
Yup.
Hall of
Yep.
Famer, I guess if you
Mhm.
will. But
Yep.
before we move off of Unsmooth, I did want to just quickly talk about Unsmooth itself because while it hasn't made its way to Comics Kingdom yet, I know their plans. We're still figuring out how to get it onto the site,
Yes.
do all that stuff. Um, the themes in Unsmooth, I think, are very interesting. What I find from it is that there's a lot of artistic integrity that's part of what you've been drawing there. One of the themes, societal expectation, I think, is
Yeah.
also something that I've seen or drew from it,
Yeah.
and even masculinity.
Yes.
So what, I guess, what drew you to those themes, or was this just a natural progression of your life that came into these pages?
I think it was truly a natural progression, Alex. It was like I was already drawn to that kind of, let's say, without sounding like a chauvinist, I was drawn to the masculinity first. Because the very raw truth is, my grandpa was a gangster, and that was my dad. Like, my dad wasn't in the family, and he turned to be a preacher after, but it's in his DNA, which transfers to me. I think there's even some statistic. I don't know if this real science or not, but they say something like if you got criminality in your family, it spreads out. And I already know I am. I know for a fact. Like there's no doubt. The way I picture life, the way I have a son now, And there's some gangsters out here in Germany, and the way we be looking at each other like, yeah, what you figure out? I was like, yeah, man, drawing. You know what I mean? Be like that, like. So it's really like it is really mostly an outlet for a kind of societal place that is dangerous for me to occupy in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's a way for me to kind of like I do have to tackle feeling really good about art, having my accent, having my face, and also on top of that, really sympathizing with criminals and gangster life for real. Like not glorifying it, or like if I were glorifying it, I would do like a hip hop themed comic or something like this.
Right.
So it's more like, I just kind of understand it. I kind of understand the like where the reason why it seems so kind of juxtaposed with crime is because it is crime for me. I am in all these stories actually in poverty because I am on my own. I didn't have a family. I am doing all this on my own. I am saving up just the amount of money it takes to fly to Germany, and that's it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I am on this kind of real edge of society that criminals are on. And the best criminals do the best they can with that. And so they have codes, they have ethics, they have another currency. The currency is your truth. That's why you can't really say something to a criminal and then just walk away. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go up to somebody, blah, 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 blah. I'm from here, I'm from there, I'm throw up every gang sign I know, blah, blah. You die for that. Because we all, or they all, or we all dead to society anyway. So the things we value is life threatening, or as important as life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was like, yo, like this is my actual hustle. Like I'm not downplaying nothing. I love what I do, but it is my actual hustle. Like my hustle. So I'm telling the story like that. Like I
I
am
love that.
making it's you know what I mean? Let's say it's not a hip hop themed comic. It's hip hop as a comic. It is hip hop itself, but that's not the thing. Like Kanye's not putting out a straight up hip hop album. He's into these different things, which it comes into or Andre 3000. They're into different things, but that it's an expression of a certain milieu. You know
Yeah, I
what I'm
love
saying?
that. I love that because I definitely saw that in the first couple pages of Unsmooth. And then the rest of it, it takes you through a whirlwind. We'll leave it at
Yeah,
that. But
yeah, it's
but
wild because I didn't know
it's
what
a
I was
really
doing.
it's really good though. I think a beautiful work. If I can say so myself. Speaking of your work though, you've done more than Unsmooth. Obviously, you've appeared in the New Yorker, um, which is how obviously we came to kind of
Yeah,
work together. By word of again, I'll shout out him again, Hall of Famer Patrick McDonald.
Pat,
The
what's up,
wonderful
Patrick?
Mutts, and he definitely in it, played a pivotal part in that intro. Um, but talk to me a bit about that juxtaposition,
Yes,
Unsmooth, what you have there, and then the panel art that you've been so successful at, and even with us
yes,
with new tricks,
yeah,
been amazing at kind of reintroducing and things.
yes.
Like, where did those two worlds exist in your mind? Did they ever overlap,
Yeah.
or not? You know?
They did. They overlap in a hard way because let's say New Tricks, the New Yorker, Gucci, the fashion design, and the paintings. That's my artwork that I produce. Unsmooth is my diary that I'm too kind of scared to. I don't want to just write a diary because I want to make a legend of my life. So I studied art, not in school, but through masters and stuff. Like I would go and study under masters to master the craft of what I'm doing. And part of that is appreciating other aspects of the craft. So if let's say, yeah, so a diary is not my work. That's just my diary. So to me, comics on this level, King Features, New Yorker, that's real comic king. because that's what it really is. Like, it's not zine making. It's not personal blah blah blah. This is a craft. You got to know the craft. Like, this is hundreds of years old. It was first designed to sell newspaper. People really worked hard to master this craft. That's your personal storytelling combined with commercially viable, combined with good drawing. This is real stuff now. So this ain't no time for me to be all personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Emma, she lives in New York. She goes to Desert Island where my old book is collecting dust. She picks it up. She's like, "Oh man, you're personal. You know, you would make a good personal story writer in the New Yorker. We would love to do one of your like unsmooth strips or something." But I'm a hustler, and I was like, "But how much do those cartoonists get paid?" Uh, I was like, "Look, I thank you, but they work every day. I don't want to work once. I want to work every
Right.
day." She's like, "Okay,
Right.
man, but look, I'm you know, I this is not a direct quote. I'm hoodifying Emma right now." Hi. But she was like, "Hey, look, man, look, this is for real then." And she gave me the shot. She like, "Hey, but this for real. This means this ain't this is not one. This is 7 a week. And we gonna say no. And this is real. Like, go. She didn't tell me to, but you know,
They're gonna say no a lot.
yeah, you know, and it was like out of my respect for her, it was like that when someone says that to me, they're not saying no. That's like Ralph saying yes. That means yes. That means okay. Earn it. Go pick up a Peter Arnold book. Go pick up the New Yorker encyclopedia. Learn it. Learn it for real. Don't draw what looks like a New Yorker cartoon. What's funny? You laugh at them. You get it until I got it. Now I came back at her like, okay, you said that is serious business. Here you go. Here's my first submission. You know, oh, that's pretty good. No.
No, I mean,
No.
she's got a tough gig, man. When I
Yeah.
sat and talked when I first met her, same sort of conversation, and that was like the birth of how all of this happened here with King. Because I mean, we traditionally obviously syndicate, and we have our daily strips, we have our weeklies, we have all that sort of fun stuff. But for the most part, we haven't delved into the gag cartoons and even the panel style, New Yorker style cartoon or strip. We have our political, we have all that fun stuff. But in talking with her and just going through the breadth of the amount of content that the New Yorker goes through, I said to myself, well, all of that can't be bad. You know, like all the no's can't be bad. There's got to be a bunch of great stuff in those no's,
Yeah.
and the world, in my opinion, is better off seeing that somewhere.
Yep.
You know, maybe
Yes.
even if it doesn't make it to the New Yorker pages.
Yes.
I think what she does and what they do is amazing, and I hope they continue for another 1,000 years. Right?
Me too. It's that first pass. They're doing that 100-year anniversary. It's that
Yeah,
first pass, and like, there's only so many pages, so of
that's
course
right.
there's gonna be brilliant stuff. I mean, you getting the greatest minds. When I like, I used to watch her and Colin Stokes and Bob Mankoff on YouTube on these little shorts they used to do on YouTube. This is before she hit me up. I used to just be watching them. Oh wow! And that I mean, they're going through so much stuff with so little pages. But then on top of that, you got this another, you know, we got two kingdoms, two buildings up in New York. You know what I'm saying? You got the Condé Nast building over here. You got the King's Features building over here. It's like knights up in there. Like, I'm like, it ain't 100 cartoonists. You know, all it's like 10 dudes and women and people just cranking out. And I'm like, 7 a week from 10. That's some fire up in there.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
like a
yeah.
boiling pot. You know, so I
Yeah.
feel it. Like, yeah, like, and that, I think that's where you start getting these like, oh, this is the look, they put out books of rejections because a New Yorker rejection is a compliment. It's not a
Yes, it is.
rejection. It's not like, it's not rejecting your skills because you wouldn't have the email in the first place. You wouldn't even have the
Absolutely.
address.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Like it's iron sharpening iron, I guess, if you will, amongst all those cartoons, and you get the cream, but everything
Mhm.
else isn't like clutter. It isn't like fodder. It's just you have all this amazing work that unfortunately can't make it to some of these pages.
Bada bing.
You know, thematically,
Yeah,
maybe something's different about this, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
But
It's the layout.
yeah, layout, it just didn't fit the page this time, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But all that sort of stuff comes into play. And so that brings us to us
Yep.
and new tricks. And that was the beauty of where our relationship started. Now, obviously, I'm
Yes.
smooth and everything else that's unfolding, but like new tricks was that. It's like, how do we
Yeah.
get the stuff that you've poured into and you're an amazing talent, and how do we bring it to a new audience here on CK and beyond, right? And we're so happy to have you here, obviously, as part of that. Your strip is amazing. I love the way you colorize it. I love how you've even added some of the personal elements into it, and I know it's evolving too, and we're figuring out what that's kind of like looking like as we go forward. Before we wrap here, though, I do want to talk about how, with your time with us, I know you've transitioned over to Berlin now with your
Mm.
lovely family.
Yes.
Maybe talk about that too. Congrats.
Yes.
Somerset is a beautiful son,
Yes.
and obviously your wife, etc.
Yes.
Um, how has
Lillian.
that shaped any of your art now, or has it, if even has that brought new elements into what you're doing or thinking about?
This is the best thing that ever happened to me, Alex. Honestly, like I said, I met Patrick when I was on a teaching gig. Off some real off the street, he was walking around Patricking it up, which is just gathering ideas, and it's like you catch him like a rare bird. Like, you know what I mean? He just be walking around. I mean, in my mind, I see him kind of muttering to himself, but I know that didn't happen. You know what I mean? But it was like that. And then, oh, what's up? And my buddy Gil Roth is he's also a podcaster, and he's into the comic scene. Oh yeah, Patrick. He's doing a talk, man. Y'all should meet. And so it was like we hit it off on the way we hit it off, the way I hit it off with Emma, the way I hit it off with everybody, because I don't know how to not be real. So like before we started talking about comics, we were just cracking up. We were just all like walking back to his house, like you know what I mean? We were just chopping it up, like chop, like, and like I'm over here trying to chop it up. I got all kind of stuff going on in my head about this whole why am I in Princeton, blah blah. And I'm talking too much as usual. And I got ice cream all over my body because we went and got ice cream. It's all melting. I'm all trying to look professional. It's like I give up, man. Like whenever I try, it fails. So I'm like,
Just let it flow.
yeah,
Just
I'm
let it
out.
flow.
I'm
That's
out.
it. Let it be what it's gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, so I talked to him, and Patrick is a person, and again, I'm not making this shit up. I'm not. He's really about that hope. He's really about that life of hope. He is about peace. I saw it in his eyes, because sometimes I go ham about I also because like I said, my grandpa is a preacher, so like I be going ham on the hope, like too, And his eyes were like, "You for real?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I want to help. I don't know what to do, blah blah." Man, what you do, man? What you? I draw comics. I draw this unsmooth thing. Let me see this shit. I mean, Patrick ain't talking like this. But
He's not saying that.
again, I'm hoodifying Patrick now. So Patrick, hey, let me see this shit. No, I show my stuff to Patrick. He's like, man, it's mostly conversations though. I think honestly, it was mostly conversation. Patrick just trusted me. He trusted me with the link. Honestly, him and Karen, because we were chopping it up. We move, from the ice cream, and then we chopping it up. We go to, I see him on the streets again. And then we're just talking about hope. Like, man, what you think about the world, man? Yeah, man, I wish, people gotta smile more, man. Man, here, take this. What's this? This is my book. I read it. Man, damn, are you a guru? Like, yeah, man, I'm kicking it with the Dalai Lama, blah, blah, man.
Yeah, he's just kicking it.
No, like, man, I feel that, man. This the old way of like really like, it's the old ways, man. Like of sharing knowledge for the betterment of the whole earth. Like people have to do that. People don't want to take it serious now. These jobs that we have, but it's a job, and that's a real job. You can take that mantle on and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna help everybody." And Patrick, I'm want to help everybody. Like he
He
really
does.
do.
I mean, his strip Mutts. We talked about it. Actually, prior episode we had his nephew. He's a new part of the team too. Dan Misdea was on the podcast too, and he has his
Yes,
strip Tunes by Dan TBD. That's Patrick's nephew,
yes,
and And he talked about growing up with Patrick and that sort of life, but how Mutts itself, Mutts, it's a daily strip, but there's so much inspiration and love and hope that comes out of Mutts. It's never, even it has its slapstick elements, right? Of course, because it's a comic strip, but the themes that come out of it, I'm so happy that you had time to you had this sort of investment of time from Patrick, because the way
Yes.
he sees the world comes into that strip. It's all about love. Yeah.
Yes. And basically when he found out, like I said, it wasn't like, oh, let me see your drawings, let me see your strips, because I don't have no strips. I never did
Yeah.
strips before.
Yeah.
I'm literally, as we're talking, we're talking about that. I'm discovering what is a strip. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm learning as I go. So he didn't see nothing. I saw the way he looked at me, and he was like, "You the right man for the job." I don't know what you're gonna do, man. How you know what somebody thinking?
You just
I
know it. You
saw
just
the
know
way
it.
he was like, I don't know what you're gonna do, man, but are you okay? Okay, then Karen, okay. I'm gonna hook you up. Call, send this email, send some stuff. I'm gonna hook you up, man. Hook me up with what? I don't even know. I don't know what's going on here. Like, but then I find out, I'm like, and I'm looking, I'm checking you out, I'm checking everything. Phantom, Popeye, oh, this like Cats and Jabber Kids, like, I'm like, damn, because I sound funny, and I'm unapologetically this funny. Like, I know I sound funny, but I'm from Cleveland. I'm a dude from Cleveland, but I do study everything, man. And like, when I found out about the history, I was like, yeah, this is up my alley. Because I love the academic side of this stuff. I love participating in the real stuff. I don't like when it's like, I mean, more power to people who want to self-publish and all. I think that's great, but like, I like to carry on legacies. I like to be a part of stuff like that, where it's like museum stuff, and like it's a pressure. Like we're saying about sharpening the knife, it's like now the eyes are on you for real, historically speaking. So it then doesn't become about me, and that's where I can, like I said, I have a respite from this more, I would say, like more like Thomas Pynchon and Paul Auster's City of Glasses kind of writing, where it's kind of like, it almost feels like stream of consciousness. And then I'm like, no, now do you have skills? Because now it's like your mind and your hand got to also coordinate. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and it's like everybody's watching this. Like,
Well,
people,
I
you know
mean,
what
the
I mean?
world is watching, especially here, on the site, with new tricks and some future stuff. I guess how do I place this here? Everyone is watching, but I think we're all better for watching, because I think there's something. Patrick acknowledged it, Ralph acknowledged it, and the fact that you come from such an unconventional artistic background, it seeps through what you're creating, right? You see it,
Yeah.
and then it's not. I've seen audiences' reactions that have been mixed, right? And it's
Yeah.
because some
I've seen
audiences
it.
have traditionally not seen that lens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I'm unique enough to say that I've seen another lens and I see some of that come through. It's very different, and different, not in a
Appreciate
bad
it.
way. It's unique in an amazing way. Everett, again, we're super happy to have you here and be having this conversation.
Appreciate it, Alex.
For our audience's sake, we're gonna wrap a little bit here.
Yeah, yeah, because I'll be chopping it up, man. You
Oh
see,
no, no,
I'm a
I'm ready. I'm ready
cartoonist,
to
man.
keep
I
on
don't
going
talk
too,
that much.
man. I'm ready to keep on going too. I have a bunch of
Yeah.
questions to share with you, but first and foremost, Everett, thank you for sharing your story with
Thank you,
us.
Billy.
It's a powerful one for that at that. Probably one of the more powerful stories that we've told so far. Um, your journey obviously has been marked by like resilience and your creativity. Obviously, it's through the roof, raw creativity. Um, it's inspiring, to be honest. So again, thank you for taking the time with us. I hope our listeners enjoyed this. Um, for our listeners, for that matter, explore more of Everett's work on Comics Kingdom, of course. But you manage your own website, esglenn.net, correct?
Yes. Ain't
Yep.
nothing
And you
on
can
there
check
but
out
links to Comics Kingdom. So.
and your other works and
All
information
right,
about
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. My bad,
Follow you
yeah.
on Instagram. I'm going to tell you to
Yeah.
keep your Instagram. You can follow Everett on Instagram at @ES_Glenn. But that's basically it. I mean, that's it for Inside the Kingdom. Check out new tricks. And of course, remember to subscribe, share, tune in next time and for more stories behind the art. But until then, keep creating and stay inspired.
Peace.